Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning into your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. For supportive oracle cards, Wisdom of the House of Night. And here on the back is who it's by, in case you want that. Decided not to butcher it anymore. Hopefully you can read that. Or you can pause the video to see that information. Okay. Already shuffled. We're going to do 6 for you, 6 for your partner. This is relationship first. We're going to do single second. And oracle cards come out where needed. Virgo, right? Virgo. Yes. Oh, there's a double for your partner. Okay. There is a double, though. You got rigid at the bottom here. And when I'm feeling this, it's kind of like looking at the situation. I find this very interesting for Virgo because Virgo is an earth sign. And when I see rigid come in for an earth sign, it makes me feel like it's what works to your benefit sometimes works against you. And this is true with all signs. But I'm getting like your stability and staying in the same lane, doing what is expected, doing what you have planned. A lot of times that works to your benefit. In this situation, things are actually going to have a kind of like a little popcorn moment, I would like to say, kind of bouncing off all over the place. And holding to the same and trying to stay with the same regimen, in this case, isn't going to work out that well for you. I just find it ironic because that is actually a beautiful attribute of a Virgo. But like all of us, no matter what sign you are, something that usually works against you every now and then, well, something that usually works with you or for you will once in a while work against you. And that's the trick of this. To find, to accept that like the way I usually do things, yes, is usually right for me. But once in a blue moon, if I keep doing it the way I usually do it, it's going to make things a lot harder. It's just seeing it and accepting it and then forcing yourself out of your comfort zone to make things better. Again, this happens to every sign. We all have good things and bad things. We all do. It's just, existing. Now, the thing is, I do see you already seeing this ahead of time where things are going. I find this very ironic. Because you got the Sun card for your partner. Something, I'm getting a travel feel already. Even though it's the Sun card, there's the horse going on there. Well, alright, you do have a couple travel cards on their side. So I guess that makes sense. They're looking to go forward with something. There's a change they're really excited about. Very excited about. And they're heading towards it. Now this is your moment. And it's the Five of Cups, granted, but this is your moment where you could easily change direction. Well, the easiest time to change direction. Let's do that. I wouldn't say it's the easiest moment, but it's where you have the easiest opportunity to change. It may not be the most comfortable, and you may not like it, but it's easier than doing it later, changing your perspective, changing how you're handling things. Because you get the Five of Cups, and the trick is with the Five of Cups, yeah, 3 of them are knocked over, right? Yep, 3 of them are knocked over, but you got 2 that are full still. 2 that are still working to your advantage. And it's to connect into those 2 cups and like, what is working here? What can I hold on to? What can I center on to allow things to change? Now, granted, you've got 3 knocked over, so you're not happy about that, but you're like, I need to hold on to something that's actually going to stably pull me into the future. It feels tricky to me because I feel like that's really hard because it's like you're going to have to move into the change, things changing. The trap of it is to try to hold on to a couple things here that are staying the same. I just feel like that's going to work against you. It's grounding yourself into things that are changing and accepting change and move towards change in a stable way. It's not easy. I feel like this isn't easy because, again, with Virgo and all earth signs, there's a stability there, and they hold on to what they know, and they stay with what they know, and they're dependable people. They're typically, stereotypically granted, very dependable people. And that's why, because they stick with what they know, they stick with what's expected. So embracing a change like this, because I feel like this is quite the thing, that takes some work. Like, I just feel like your natural instinct is like, I don't want to change. I don't want to do it. But realizing it's time to change, it's time to move forward, slowly moving forward now is the easiest point in this line to actually do that. Not liking it still, but the easiest point right now is when to change your view or change your direction. Because right now it's more veering this way instead of like a hard turn. At this point, it would be kind of veering. As in the future, it's going to be kind of like, oh, this isn't working, and then you have to take a hard right. It's much more jarring. Much more jarring. Now, the thing is, again, Virgo, very dedicated. And I see you thinking things over. I mean, it's not like, you're sensible. Virgos are usually very sensible and kind of looking at it like, if I have to change, okay then. But that's the trick of this again. I feel like this is a hard situation. If I have to change, but if I don't feel like I have to, maybe I won't. But I feel like that's a trap. Like, I do feel like change is coming. And by not going with the change, it's just making it much more worse on you. It really does feel like it's making it worse on you. The challenge card for your partner is just to step forward and just go forward with it. They got the Three of Wands, and there's another travel card, and there's the Tower coming up for them, just to be fair. They need to embrace that change. The sooner they embrace the change, the better it is for both of you as well. And you stepping forward and actually saying, all right, let's just go with it. Let's roll it. Let's go with this change. It seems to edge them forward, kind of like, all right, yeah, my Virgo partner is into it. I really have no reason to kind of hold back. I need to jump in this pool and get things going. So you can inspire them to move forward and get this over with, because I feel like that's kind of how this is. Get it over with and let's get into it. Let's get doing it so we can look back and be like, well, at least it's over now. By you saying, you know what, I see where we're going to have to change. So let's start looking at this, like what type of things have to go along. What's going along with this change? Since we have to change, and if you seem to connect in it with that energy, since we have to change, what's coming in with it? What kind of matches in with it? What else has to change with it? I feel like you just starting a conversation with your partner eases the energy up and gets it flowing forward so you can get past this point. I've never known a Virgo to be afraid of work, but then again, stereotypical. So it's not like you're it's not like you're daunted by things have to get done. It's more like, I like the way things have been. I like what I'm familiar with. Going into new territory is not my cup of tea, but if it has to happen, then it has to happen. All right, so where are we going next? Because there's a couple things pulling in here. Now, this is still going to be a little bit kind of like, it's not going to be the easiest situation. You do have the Nine of Swords with the Prince. Is it the Prince? No, it's the Priestess of Water. So there's other energy coming in at the same time, so it's a complicated moment, but part of you is going to be like, I don't want to do this. Even though you're heading in this direction, you're going to be fighting yourself like, I don't want to do this. Things keep changing. There's more to figure out. It's just kind of like, I'd like to go back to my normal pattern. I'd like to go back to how things were. I don't like doing this. But you got the High Priestess of Water. You have emotional attachment to your pattern is what I'm getting. It kind of goes both ways, though. It's kind of like, is this best for me to move forward? Which is hard to say how you're feeling about that. It's a very emotional moment because you're like, I don't like this. I feel that energy. I don't like this. But what's helping you is the Queen of Swords with the Risk card. I feel like for a lot of you, once you've committed to it, and it's kind of like, that's done. I need to go in this new direction. Even though you're still not going to like it, once you've committed to it, it's kind of on its own track. Some of you, I feel like, have this thing where you might go half in, half out, like one foot in this boat, one foot in that boat. It's kind of like they're going to start going different directions. You can't stay in both. And a lot of times if you have a foot in both boats and they both go different directions, what happens is, you fall into the water, quite frankly. That's just the short end of the stick of that. So for the Virgos who just are like, you commit to it, like, all right, this is changing. I don't like it, but I'm committed to it. It'll be easier for you. If you're putting a foot in both boats, you're gonna fall in the water. It's gonna be rough. Ironically, I feel like it's gonna be just as bad as if you just didn't change at all and you're having that hard right. Because instead of having to make up for things, it's making a mess of both situations. It's making a mess of what you're usually doing, and it's making a mess of what you're trying to create new. So I feel like it's making it's making a bigger mess. They're saying to go with this change, like commit to it. It's going to make a big mess if you don't. And you got the Queen of Swords here, and I feel like even though emotionally you're not happy, you don't like it, analytically you get it. You understand. You know where this is going. You see it clearly analytically. Like, if you think about it, you know where it's going. Liking it, that's a whole nother story. But they're saying, just cut your ties and jump in and go. Go with the change. Commit to the change. If you do halfway, it's going to be rough. It's going to be worse than if you didn't make the choice at all. You know what I mean? I don't know if that came across right. Now, your partner's excited about this. I also see your partner spiritually with the Magician card. They have to move forward with this. This is something they want. This is pulling them towards a goal in life. This is something that's drawing them forward. And yes, they're creating the situation. I definitely see that. But there's a draw. There's an energy pulling them forward. It is in their control, but there's such a draw pulling them forward that they really can't not move forward. And I understand that you have the Two of Cups here, so you seem to be, you're connecting with your love for your partner, and I get that. And you're supportive of the situation through the love of your partner. Do you want this change? No. Do you love your partner? Yes. Is your partner going forward? Definitely. So it's just kind of like your partner's going forward. It's kind of like they're on the boat, and you're just kind of like, I love them, so I guess if they're on the boat, I have to get on the boat too. So here we go. So, because it's almost like, why are we even doing this? And I feel like that question might be popping up. Why am I even doing this? Because you love your partner. Your partner's already made this decision to move forward. I just feel like they're very strongly driven that way. I just feel like it's going to happen one way or another. Now, as this moves forward, this moment is kind of like, there's the Tower is hitting here. The Tower has some type of upset usually. It's not usually, once in a great while you have cards around it where it's like a wedding proposal type feel, and it's a shock and it changes everything, but it's like exciting. So it is a big shock, but it's not that bad. Let's put it that way, but it's not often. You got the Six of Swords here on your partner's side, and you got the Eight of Cups on your side. You feel like you're walking away from something you love, a pattern you're very comfortable with. Your partner feels like they're going towards something better. I feel like both of you, the way this is going to move forward best is just to let go of what's gone. The sooner you let go of it, the easier it's going to be to grow new roots in this new situation. It's kind of like cutting a tree down. Once it's cut down, it's done. Yeah, like there's a tree in my backyard that fell down a few months ago, and the tree was still alive for a few weeks after that. It was still green, but you could tell like it's it's dying. You knew it was gonna die, like because it was like from upright to flat over. It's just it was hanging on just a little bit. You knew it wasn't gonna make it. So and that's kind of like the thing here. It's like the sooner you just kind of lop it off so you can clean it up, the better it's gonna be. Because I see you both like walking away from the past and just making like a cold cut, like done. For Virgo, that's more of a challenge because that's not something you're privy to. But this is again when the rigid card pops in, kind of like holding on to something that's over. That's making things rough for you. And this is the point when this happens. You know there's no going back. So it's kind of like you're emotionally held to the past, but you analytically know it's done. There's no going back. So it's just making that cold cut and kind of like, I'm just not even going to think about it anymore. I'm not going to deal with that anymore. It's done. Walking away from it. It's not the easiest thing. You don't like it, but it needs to happen. The sooner you do that, the easier this gets for you. Because the Tower comes in, and I'm getting there's some type of unexpected, something's unexpected, definitely unexpected with the Tower. And I'm getting your partner with the Page of Cups, kind of like it doesn't ruin everything. But if you look at the two cards here, you got the Page of Cups and the Sun. If you go from the Sun to the Page of Cups, things are still good, just not nearly as good as they were. And I'm getting here, like, there's an upset here. Something isn't going as planned. I'm also getting this with your partner at that same time with that Tower card. As its cage? Trapped. Trapped. In other words, these unexpected events happen, and now you just got to deal with them. And I feel like it's more on their side. They just got to deal with it. There's just... It's kind of like the car broke down, and you only got so much money, so now you got to deal with it. You got to find a way to get out of this trap. There's only so much you can do. If there's only one person that can help you, and they cost X amount of dollars, and you can afford that, it's just they're going to take 2 weeks. Yeah, you might need this car in the next 2 days, but if that's all the resources you have, you're going to have to find another way around it. And I see that that's kind of what's happening. They're having some unexpected bumps, and it's just they have to deal with it. There's only so much resource that they have at this moment. There's only, there's certain things that have to be done. I mean, the Magician is here. They are going to make it work out, but especially the way I read the Magician, they use what's with them. They use what's in front of them. They just don't wave a wand and make, sparkles appear, and then, oh, look, millions of dollars. That's not how I interpret the Magician. What I do interpret the Magician as, what's in front of you, you use. You use to the best of your ability, and you make the situation work. You get success based on what you see in front of you. You create something based on what you see in front of you. And they are making things work out. So they do have the Magician. They will make this work out. In the long run, and I don't see you being able to convince your partner of this, but due to this hiccup, due to this unexpected problem, the outcome for them is the Five of Swords, which is, to me, the fruitless win. It is going to work out. They are going to get what they want. Due to the hiccup here of the Tower, they're not any farther ahead than they were. But they're not behind. They haven't gone backward, but they haven't gone forward either. They're kind of like, if they were like a level 2, just for argument's sake, now that they've changed everything over and they got into the future, there's still a level 2. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. Because they've not gotten no farther ahead than they were. And I feel like you might be even looking at it at this point like, we went through all this, and we went through all this, and we're no farther ahead than we were. You haven't gone back a step either, but you're no farther ahead. But just to be fair, it is the Tower card that's changing this. The Tower card hitting, the unexpected events hitting, that are throwing things off with the Page here. Like, it's still going to work out, but I feel like that the Tower is what's knocking this down. If the Tower didn't show up, you would be ahead 5-6 steps. It would. That's true. I do feel like it would have been. But the unexpected event here with the Tower knocked it back to just like a null. No farther ahead, no farther behind, because of the Tower. It's unseen. It's unforeseen, though. That's the thing. It's an unforeseen event until it happens. I don't know how you could explain that to your partner and get them to not do this, but that's what I'm seeing there. I think we're good. All right, so that's Virgo single. No, Virgo's in relationships. I'm going to do Virgo single next. So let's do them right now. What do we have for single Virgos? Messages for single Virgos. My voice sounds really deep today. Alright, single Virgos. I feel like my voice is really deep today. What's up with that? Hopefully it's not a bad thing. In the sense of like tomorrow I'm not going to pay for it. Type bad thing. I don't think people watching are going to care that my voice is deeper, but you know. Alright. Virgo singles. What do we have for single Virgos? What do we have for single Virgos? Messages for single Virgos. What do we have for single Virgos? Messages for single Virgos. Empowering information. It shows them what they're really dealing with. What are they really dealing with? What's around them? I think we're going to leave that there. You got a very... Alright, well, we'll see how this outcome goes, because it's very... You've got two drastically different cards next to each other. And my question, and we're going to have to wait till we get to the cards so I can, when I pick them up, is one leading into the other, or is this like, depending on how this is working out, is this a pass-fail situation? Is it going to go your way, or is it going to not? The two cards that are at the end, I'll just tell you right off the bat. One is the Ten of Swords, which is complete devastation. The other is the Six of Wands, which is victory. They're both minor arcana, but one is devastation, one is victory. I don't know if they're going to come in together, though. And I'm just like, what are we heading for here? Let's see. Okay. I'm really curious with where this is going to end up, because I'm not sure. There is a connection here. Oh, you got two cards here. There's a past connection here. You know this person a little bit. And I feel like it depends on how you're feeling about it. And, well, who it is. You know how long you've known this person. I'm not even going to worry about it. But there is some type of history. And there's been the moon with the wishing for this person towards you in the past. Which is, I feel like it's partially they don't really know where you stand. Maybe. Or maybe they don't know where they stand. The moon is kind of like a little bit of a mystery feel. And in this deck, I really enjoy how that looks, because I think it's a really pretty card. It's very mystical, and it's almost like something that feels very magical and unexplainable, I would say, just hasn't come to the light of day yet. So I feel like there's a very beautiful moment here in the past, and I'm getting the wishing card here too, which they're not really sure if this is something, in the past at least, they weren't really sure if this is something that could happen, but they're like, I want a relationship like this. Because I feel like the Virgo that I'm attracted to, that's a really good life, and I feel like this could be a wonderful thing. Now, this seems to be where it was. The question is, were you feeling it, or were they feeling it? Because even though it's showing up in the environment, they may have been very alluring to you, but you may not have been convinced that it was something you could attract or get involved with. So it could go either way, just to be fair. But this is somebody who has kind of a little connection here with you. I'm getting the Queen of Cups for you, by the way. No matter what way it fell, whether you weren't sure how they felt about you or they weren't sure how you felt about them, you were keeping it to yourself. You had some attraction, but not enough to where you were tripping over yourself. You know what I mean? You were kind of like, yeah, this sounds good. Yeah, I like this person. That has possibility. But you weren't like down in the dumps like, oh, I can't live without this person. You weren't feeling like that. I don't know why you're being dramatic, but there you go. So this is where this started, is what I'm getting. Now, as time is passing, however long that is for you, you kind of develop this Seven of Cups feel, and your thoughts have the King of Pentacles. I feel you coming into the present time, at least for when you're watching this reading, whenever that is, and you're kind of like looking at possibilities with this person, and you're kind of like, maybe I want to try out something with this person. Maybe I want to kind of move this forward and see if, like, is there really a stable spot to stand on? You're kind of looking at this person like, you know what? Under the right circumstances, which seems very interesting to me. Under the right circumstances, what does that mean? If this person actually connects with you better than you think they're going to. Because I feel like you're looking at this person from the outside. You don't know them too much. You know enough about them, but you're like, if I get involved with this person a little bit and get to know them a little bit more, maybe their life is a little better than I think it is. Because some things seem a little bit out of focus, but you're kind of questioning it. Does it just seem out of focus due to my viewpoint? Or is it actually, more of a problem? And there's something about this person, something about their life that you're kind of like, I don't know if they have some issues there, or if it's just from where I stand, it looks like they have some issues there. And you're willing to find out, is what I'm getting. So I see you kind of moving forward with this, but like I see like more interaction with this person. The thing is, the wheel turns with this interaction, and the Three of Pentacles. Like I feel like you're starting to move closer to this person. You're starting to talk to them more, asking more questions. Some dating could occur here, but I feel like you're keeping a very safe distance. You're just trying to gather information. You're trying to find out, like, what am I really standing on? Is this a very solid floor, or am I on a rocky cliff here that, it might give away at any moment? Like, what am I standing on? What am I really building from here? And you got that Wheel of Fortune with the Three of Pentacles. They're acting positively towards you. And things seem to ramp up pretty quickly is what I'm getting here with the Eight of Wands. Things seem to move forward pretty quickly. Things are blossoming. Things are starting to come forward. I'm getting the Star card at the bottom. It feels good. It feels really good. I'm starting to understand the ending more because I feel like all that's coming in at once. I do feel like that's all coming in at once. So, and I'm laughing because it's a nervous energy because I'm not sure if it's good or bad overall, but we got there. The wheel is turning, like things are going favorably. You're working it out. There's hope coming. It's coming. Things are moving forward very quickly, though. Very quickly. Now, as you're coming into this next step of the future, this isn't the ending, but you get the Sun card and the self-worth, which this is where you got 6 to 1, half a dozen to the other. You're enjoying this person. You're getting along with this person. You like this person. They have something's going on around them. Something is going on around them. Something they're connected to. Whatever it is they're connected to, the self-worth is making me feel like you don't really blame them for what they're connected to, or they're what's going on, it's going on. What's happened has happened. What they have to deal with, they have to deal with. But it's kind of like you're looking at what they're dealing with, this little component to their life, and you're just kind of like, oh, if that wasn't a factor here, this would be a green light all the way. But like, I don't know if I can deal with that. I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know if if that's something I can really succeed with. I want to say you're confused whether you should really be involved with this or not, because like what it is, whatever this extra component is, you're like, that's a lot. I don't know if that's something for me. The reasons why I feel like they're varied, so when you get to this part, you're going to know what it is, and like the reason why it's making you a little apprehensive. Okay. Self-worth is there, saying maybe you feel like you can't make the grade, or maybe you're thinking the situation may be overwhelming for you and just be too much and just not be worth it. Depending on when that happens, you'll know where you stand at that moment. Now, this person, your potential partner at this point, they're not your partner, but they potentially could be. They're aware, like they've got the Five of Swords. And I see them very on point with like, they know how this affects other people. And I don't feel like they're prejudging you, but they are aware that like a lot of people get this far with them and they see what they're involved with and see what they have to deal with, and they're just kind of like, this isn't for me, I have to move on. And I feel like this has happened to this person a few times. So they don't expect you to, they don't expect you to be just kind of like, yay, we can do this, no problem. They don't expect this to be easy, but they do know it could be, they know that this could end the situation. And they got the Five of Swords, like even though they know that you're into them and they're into you and you're both having a good time there, the Five of Swords is saying, yes, they're winning in that sense, but it could end up falling apart due to the complications around them. So the Five of Swords is like the fruitless win. Like right now it's good, but they're not convinced that they can bank on this win. Even though you're getting along. Alright, so there is a history card with them too. People have gone even farther with them than you currently are at this point. You're considering, do I get involved? Do I not get involved? I feel like there's a history feeling here with other people they've been involved with have gone a few steps deeper, a few farther, a few miles into it. A few something. I was trying to say something else. A few There's a few some. They've taken on a few more things with this situation. People have gotten involved in trying to help them. And the Six of Cups is telling me, like, people have even gotten deeper than you are now and walked away from them. So this is not a this is people have gone just a few weeks more and then walked away. There's few. I'm like, what are we trying to say with the few? Few have gotten much farther than this, but few have gone farther and just dropped the ball, clearly. Something along that line. There's something there. Like, I feel them apprehensive. I feel them nervous. Because they get used to people, and people start getting involved in their life, and then they just drop them like a hot rock. It just happens, like they drop them like a hot rock is what I'm getting. And that's making this person very nervous. Because even though you've gone this far, they don't know you well enough to realize if you keep going forward, you're building a connection. The farther you go, the more connected, the more grounded you are in the situation. They don't know you well enough to realize that right now. But they've dealt with other people who've gotten this far and farther, and they're just like, it's like here today, gone tomorrow. They're just like, I can't do this anymore. Done. And they just walk away. And just, it throws them off. And I feel there's a nervous energy here with that. So just so you know what you're dealing with. Now, the 4 cards we have for the ending. We have the 10 of Swords with Playful, and then we have the 6 of Wands with Listen. Now, this is very curious. But I feel like you're trying to take what's bad here and you're trying to make light of it. You're trying to lighten it up. You're trying to raise the energy a bit. You're addressing, yeah, these things aren't so good. These things are a problem. These things have to be addressed. But I feel you coming forward like, yeah, but this is doable. And I feel you're kind of making it, you're making it as lighthearted as possible. Kind of like, I don't know why we're doing this, but if, for example, if you have to deal, this person has to deal with an ex-lover and they have a child in common with them. And you're kind of trying to make light of it, and I'm really pushing my luck saying this, but it's making me laugh already. You're kind of like, yeah, she can be a bit of a witch, but at least we'll have fun at Halloween. Like, it's not, at least we have somebody to hang out with on Halloween, you know. I don't know why. I shouldn't probably have said it that way, but it's the way it came through, and it made me laugh, so there you go. So you're trying to make light of it. Like, yeah, they're a pain in the ass, but, you know, yeah, donkeys have purpose, too. So it's fine. So you're kind of trying to make light of it. You're trying to lighten it up a bit. You are addressing it for the truth. Like, yeah, it's a problem. It is. But I also see you, the victory here is kind of like, you know what? Yeah, they have problems. But you know what? I've been with people who don't have problems that are not the quality of this person. And that's, I think, what's getting you. I feel like that might be why you're sticking around. This person has problems, serious problems to deal with, serious situations going on around them. And you're trying to make light of them, and that's cool. But the thing is, the quality of this person, again, I feel like you've been with people, no problems at all, like this. But the person was it wasn't there. Or maybe the person themselves just wasn't the quality person you needed them to be. So the person you're connecting with, you're like, I know they have complications, but this person is high quality, and I like this person. And you know what? I'd rather invest in somebody who's worth it, that I can depend on, that I can stick with, and deal with some rough patches, rather than end up with somebody who has no problems at all, that I don't know what to expect of them, or I just don't feel like the connection is there. I feel like that's why this person is winning out. I feel like you might stick with this person. You're not getting into this half-heartedly. You're definitely knowing what you're into, and you're thinking about it before you get too deep, and you're slowly getting deeper and deeper, but I feel like this person and who you're seeing and the quality of this person, you're like, you know what? They're worth it. I'd rather be involved with somebody that has some rough things going on in their life that I really feel for and I can really depend on, rather than ending up with somebody who has no problems at all that I'm really not sure if I can depend on them. So, I do feel like you're going to go forward with this. That seems where this is going. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, that's Virgo. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.